I think everybody, the way that I think about where you are now, it's like there's such a culmination of life events, either large or small, that have such a huge impact on your decision making that end up leading you to where you are today. Hey, Chris Bily, founder, owner, and creator of Original Grain, Exo Taco, Flybird, and Hot Stuff Sauce. So I've always been in the restaurant business. Never really, taken a liking to business per se, because I didn't know much about business, but had always been in it and always kind of gone back to it over the years. So, after one kind of significant event in coaching, got really sort of sidetracked and back into the restaurant business. Ended up linking up with a few people that were starting a restaurant, and then one thing led to another. Made a couple connections, and bam, I kind of had a shot to do my own joint and to start a joint with some other people.
I've learned everything that I do on a daily from Chris, especially just in the restaurant atmosphere. I've never been in an atmosphere like this, but I've always played sports, and Chris knows that, and kind of family friend. He's just found a way to bring my background into this atmosphere, and has taught me how to be a good leader.
Was there a mentor or a group of people, I know you mentioned somebody that you linked up with when you're getting back into the restaurant business, that kind of guided you to this process, or was it more just kind of getting some advice and then going out and doing it for yourself?
I think it's just, there's probably a couple people that have guided me pretty significantly throughout my life. Certainly my mom's been a really big advocate for me. Initially, if it wasn't for her and her kind of pushing my father to give me a loan to start a restaurant with zero experience besides being in the restaurant business for a really, really long time, having a handful of odd jobs from washing dishes to being a server and into some kind of management. I wouldn't certainly be here if it wasn't for that. My crew, right? They've really bought into me, right? And certainly the people that I have around me in my inner circle, they've bought into me. So I think what motivates me is just continuing to develop new concepts, ideas, revenue streams to help them to not only just grow the business, but to help them continue to succeed and kind of move up and handle more and get paid more and do more, which is what they want to do. So just keep working hard. Don't get down on yourself. Don't get down on your luck if things don't work out. Take every negative thing that happens as a learning experience and a learning moment, and just keep going, keep grinding. The more you hustle, the more you grind at it, something's eventually going to work out. I think if you can display all those skills that I listed before, discipline, hard work, a driven sort of mentality to succeed, I think that there's no doubt that you will eventually find that moment in that industry at that period of time where you're going to make it happen.
Right. The decor, the artwork on the wall really stands out, right? It's unique comparatively to a lot of restaurants and new concepts that are coming around. Where did that idea come from?
Yeah, it's all just kind of like culturally for me. Stuff that we grew up with. I was a big hip hop kid.
Yeah.
So old mixtapes and that sort of like scene was really big for me in the '90s.
Yeah.
As a '90s kid, so that the skate, the street culture, that was also kind of like really intertwined during the '90s. If you look back at kind of like the cultural era of the '90s, so. Yeah, as we're developing this concept, Original Grain, we knew that for sure people were going to call it OG, right? So I had this, really like strong hip hop kind of vision for the brand, and specifically '90s hip hop.
Yeah.
When that term kind of started to, really populate. We just started picking apart my brain and figuring out, spaces and places to really kind of put things that would highlight not only the brand, but I think my cultural background and what I enjoyed when I was growing up.
Okay, so one thing, obviously you looked into a little bit of your background, things that had been going on in your life as you come up. One thing that we did notice is that you do actually have a Ukrainian background.
Yeah.
Now, I do want to bring that up now. Of course, there's a whole bunch of things that are going on, and Syracuse actually has been one of the cities that has taken steps to give aid and do things that are positive to get people to help out and give back. For example, we actually did an interview with Buried Acorn a few weeks back, and they were selling Ukrainian beer where all the proceeds were going over to those that may need it. My question is to you, for those that are watching, are there anything that people in the Syracuse community can do, whether it's a small step or a big step, that can help? And is there anything that Original Grain might be doing as well that they could get involved with?
Yeah, I would just say to go and support your small businesses, especially here, ones that are Ukrainian or not, or supporting it.
Yep.
I think that's probably the big step, is to really start local. Start putting your dollars into local stuff.
So we saw in an interview with the Daily Orange that you were described as spending 3 nights in Chicago, bottle of bourbon in hand, writing up menus, business plans, and envisioning the future of what this all could look like. So now, coming full circle, it's all come to fruition about 10 years later. How does it feel to be living the reality of your dreams that you were looking back on?
I mean, obviously pretty wild. You grind for so hard and come up with these crazy ideas. You don't know if any of them are gonna pan out or stick. And I mean, like I said, if it wasn't for my support system and the crew that I had around me, just constantly telling me that all the stuff that we were doing was awesome. All the things that I were thinking weren't crazy. That it would actually work. I wouldn't be here I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for that. So again, it's really surreal to think about just all that kind of like effort, hard work, and like I said, late nights, a couple shots of bourbon, and just writing and creating and menu writing and drawing brands and brand names. I mean, it's still a practice that I constantly do. Maybe not so much with the bourbon anymore, but
right. Always creating.
Yeah. But and that's it. Just always creating. And I think there's a big part of me that if it wasn't for taking that initial leap and that first step and just taking it and risking it all, I certainly would not be here today. So yeah, I look back on those moments with a smile and say, man, wow, this journey's been fun. I cannot wait to see what else it has in store.
All right, and with that said, Chris, thank you for having us here today. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
We're done with today's episode of the Faces of Syracuse. Please go to thefacesofsyracuse.com to check out some of the other segments that we've done previously, as well as head on down to 302 South Salina Street, down here to Original Grain, and check out what they have to offer.